Alright, I should be live now. So, hello and welcome to a new episode, to a new stream in which I'm building a city in Classic. We are still in version 0.28 underscore 01, so nothing really has changed in terms of version. And also, this will be the last stream in which I'll be playing in this version, but more on that at the end of the stream. Once again, I've been working on doing some building in between these streams, so I'm gonna show that at the beginning of this stream. The only thing that I did over here at the shooting range is that I've added a target at the top with some wood as supports to make it to show that it is a shooting range. Anyway, next up I've finished the botanist store. Let's go over there now. As you can see, I've added some trees inside the vent to make it look like this shop is selling them. I've also added some slabs around them to make it look like they are inside some pots or something. And I've also added these roads along with a parking lot and these paths that are made out of gravel. As you can see, there are quite a few trees of different sizes. Nothing has changed on the inside. And I also did a bit of work on the exterior. I added these slabs and I've changed how the locks are a bit. And another thing that I've worked on are these walls, these cliffs. Those are here to make it look like this wall is holding back all the soil and stuff. I think it's better than having the hills be kind of bare like that. I think this wall makes things look a bit more realistic. And just looks nice, I think. I've actually added these walls to other places. And I forgot to gather this sand. I actually used the sand to climb up so I could take a screenshot of this build for the thumbnail. Another thing that I also did is I extended the roads in some places. That way, once I get like to Infdev and port this world into the Infdev world, I'll just extend the roads so further beyond so that I can keep expanding the city. So yeah, that's another thing that I did. I extended the roads in few places. And if we walk over here, you'll see more of the walls I talked about, sort of hold back the terrain. There's one wall. Here it's kind of small, and if we go there, there's another wall. This one is quite long, and it sort of extends over here. All the way back. As you can see, it extends all the way to the liquid towers, and I think it makes this place look better. Anyway, now that I've shown you these walls, it is time to look forward to another thing that I've built, which is that I've added this parking lot and I've added some trees to this gallery. I decided to use these cube trees next to the gallery since the gallery is kind of rectangular, so I feel like it fits. And I've also added some paths that lead around the gallery. I still plan to decorate this place a bit more in the future, but I haven't yet decided how. It's something that I'll decide later on. As you can see over here, I've also extended the road. It wasn't here previously, so I extended it to the border and also to the gallery. Anyway, that is everything that I've built in within the streams. Now it is time to on to another thing, which is building a bank. This build is kind of inspired by Method's Boyhood series, because in that series he had like a bank which he built in the old versions, and beneath the bank he had like a vault in which he stored some iron and gold blocks, which is why I've dug out this area which will serve as a vault in the future, and I plan to store some things in here, some gold blocks, iron blocks, some bookshelves, mossy cobblestone, sponges, and maybe some coal, so that I've got access to them once I put this world to End of Death and start updating it. Since it's quite big and quite tall, so I'll have plenty of space for all my needs, I'd say. Anyway, that is the future world. Now it is time to start working on the build itself. I want it to be rather big, and for that I'm gonna first try to create a sort of frame, kind of like I saw like YouTubers do it. I haven't really done it before. I feel like this will give me a good idea. This will help me design the build. So for this I first need to decide how big do I want my tank to be. For that I need to decide how far away from the edge I want it to be. So let's see. I'm thinking this sort of design is gonna be nice. Or maybe it will be a bit closer. I think some older. Well, I'm gonna try placing down some blocks and see how big it is. and being placed on the blocks, I'd say that this is too wide. So let me try to make it a bit thinner. Let's see, is this sort of width better? So maybe 2 blocks on each side, and that will be good. Although I may need to extend it by 1 block, or rather, I need to check to see if it has an odd length. And I don't want to count, so I'm just using blocks. Oh yeah, it is an odd length, or odd width. And I think I'm gonna make the length odd as well. And yeah, it is an odd length. Now that I've confirmed that, I'm gonna get rid of this wall. And start working on a frame so that I can work on the design, kind of. Because in previous streams I kind of winged it by just building it and designing it while building it, but now I'm gonna first try to nail down the actual shape of the build. Now as for the height, I'm thinking of making it up. I think I'm gonna try to have it sort of 2 stories tall, where each 3 floors tall, where each story will be 5 blocks tall, with one block in between. So now it's 2. There we go. And that is the frame partly built. This kind of gives us an idea as to how large the inside of the bank will be, and I'd say it's plenty big, but also doesn't feel too large. However, this won't be the entire frame because I still want to add thing to the front, make it kind of gets part of the roof, and it kind of extends to the front. And the pillars here, I don't remember what it is called, but for it I'm gonna need to do some preparations. First I'm gonna need to get to the top. For which I'm just gonna use the saving of the location to just teleport to the top. Let's see. Should I make it? Oh, there is one thing that I need to decide. That is if I want it to be sort of as wide as the bank or not. That probably doesn't make sense, but yeah. Maybe I'll explain later. I'll just make it as wide. And I need to stop falling. I need to do the same thing on the other side. And stuff. And I need to stop falling. Unfortunately, I don't have. There's no crouching in this version. And now I just need to connect these two lines, which will take probably half a year. Because I'll keep falling. And somehow I didn't make these two things equal length. Let's see. I want these to be so. Two. Right, I think I made a mistake on the other end. Should be shorter. Basically, my plan is to have 3 blocks and 2 blocks white. 3 blocks, then a 2-block white pillar, and then 2 blocks. Anyway, time to keep building. Time to keep bridging. And there we go. Next up, I'm gonna decide where the pillars will be. Let's see. I'm thinking that the first pillar should be three blocks away from the pillar. I'm gonna replicate that on the other side. Just realized it also needs to be 3 blocks away from the building. Now then, the next two pillars should be 3 blocks away from the previous ones, I think. I think that will look nice. And I think I can put one more set of pillars. Or not. I don't think this looks good. I think I'm gonna space the doors more apart because I plan to have these slabs, and if I hit them it will make the pillars look like they are too close. So instead of them being 3 blocks apart, I can make them 5 blocks apart. I think that will be definitely better. Now I'm just gonna extend them up to get a better idea of how this build will look like in the once I finish it. Of course, it won't be made out of magenta wool since that will be kind of weird. After all, banks are kind of serious buildings. I think this will look kind of nice. And now I just need to add a roof. So we can work on the shape. And for that I first need to decide how tall do I want it to be. Maybe slope. I think the first thing that I'm gonna try is to make it slope upwards and make each step 4 blocks long. So let's see. 4. And on the other side. And I think it needs to be steeper. each step be 3 blocks wide. I also feel I made a mistake there. Anyway, time to remake it. I'd say this sort of steepness is good, but I feel like it needs to sort of start over here instead. I feel like it's weird like this. So we rebuild it for the third time. Or the 42nd time. And I feel like I've made a mistake. Or I didn't. French. Anyway, I think this sort of shape is good. And once I be working on the roof, by building all the actual blocks, I'll be also extending it to the back. But anyway, this is the sort of shape that the bank will have. And now I just need to, well, actually start building it at, so that I wouldn't have just a frame. And for that I'm going to first start working on the pillars, I think. So I'll just place down the slabs first. And I think I'll make them out of light gray wool. So let me just start. Oh, I'll first tear them down, which makes me think that. Oh, I was thinking that I probably didn't need to build them, but building rank did give me a good idea as to how the bank will look, so probably wasn't a waste. There we go. Next up, I'm gonna start working the walls. So I'm gonna start getting rid of the frame. And I think for the walls, I'm gonna use a combination of stone slabs and white wool. I'll sort of replace the frame with stone slabs and have the wall made out of white wool. I think it'll look nice. And then maybe make some changes based on how it looks. Because after all, as people often say, first you have to make something actually exist and then you can make it good. Although one annoying part of using slabs will be that I'll have to do a lot of clicking, since for each block I need to click twice. I think that using the slabs will be worth it in the end. Well, that was a lot of slab placing, but we are now a bit over 2/3 done with the slab placing, at least for now. I just need to replace the wall at the top. But now that I think about it, now that I think about it, it would be probably better to start placing the wall before these slabs, because I feel like it will make placing it easier. Just gonna get rid of these and start placing the wall, and then placing the rest of the slabs. I say it will be easier without these slabs because I can just use the auto clicker to place them. Because when I have these slabs here, I can't really use the auto clicker the way I do that. I need to sort of walk like this and sort of need to place them like this. Which I feel like will be kind of annoying. I would like to get as much of this bank done as possible because I've got some plans which I'll explain at the end of the stream. Oh, hello Sabine. I'm currently working on a bank. It's it's going to be kind of like Method's bank in his that he had in his poly world, because I plan to have a vault where where I'll be storing various things for when I update like in the flesh. Okay, here's the sort of shape that I want to have with some pillars, this sort of roof that extends forwards, and I'm currently working on the walls because I would like to use white wool along with the stone slabs. And I'm just in the process of placing in the slabs. Thanks. And now that the walls are done, I'm gonna move on to another boring thing, which is to add a ceiling to this whole thing, which I think I'll make out of light grey wool. And it will of course require me to do a lot of placing. Yeah, it is definitely weird to hear like grass sounds when I'm walking or breaking the glove box. Also, there is one thing that I forgot to mention. As I've said, this bank build is inspired by Method since he had his bank in the Polyworld series where he stored the precious metals. So I wanted to do it as well. However, I feel like it is kind of a bit cheaty, so I decided that I would build a nice bank around it, kind of well, so that I would actually have to put in the effort to actually deserve the things that I'm storing inside of it, or the gold and iron. So it's not just so it's more than just placing some iron in gold underground for future use, and it's an actual part of the city, if that makes sense. Well, I feel like obsidian would be a bit too much, since I also want to like decorate the vault. And there we go. I'd say building these ceilings is probably my least favorite activity, since I can't even like use auto clicker like I would where to build a floor. Speaking of which, now it is time to start working on the inside, and for that I would like to first start working on the floor. I'm thinking of using iron blocks as floor to make it look like it's because it can look because when placed down they can look like tiles, which I think will be nice for this build. So for it I'm gonna first need to tear out the dirt, for which I'll use all that liquid to make things faster. Otherwise I feel like it would take too long and it would be just annoying to have to click so many times. Oops. As you can see here, oh, there is some red cloth here because there was some, I think there's a cave underneath, so I just filled it with red cloth. And oh, and where are you buying gifts for family? And you are shipping. Sorry for it, forgot to mute while coughing. Anyway, now that the dirt is out, it is time to start placing the iron blocks. Personally, I stayed home all day, I didn't really do much. Anyway, once I am done with the floor, I'll start working on the interior decoration. I'm not yet sure if the bank if I want the bank to have 2 floors. I did make it 2 floors tall, but I'm still contemplating on whatever or not. I'm still going. Basically what I'm trying to say is that I don't have this build fully planned out, so I'll just go along with the flow. And there we go. The floor is done, which means that it's now time to start work on the interior. And the first thing that I would like to start working on is the entrance to the vault. I'm thinking that the entrance will be a spiral staircase, which will be sort of 3 by 3, and it will be kind of aligned with the entrance into the bank, and in front of the spiral staircase will be a old door, which I'll make out of obsidian, I think, since since obsidian is considered a very hard material in Minecraft. I was originally considering making out of iron, but later I decided to make the door out of iron. Instead, I'll make the vault door out of obsidian. Now let's see how far away do I want it from the staircase. I'm thinking 3 blocks could be nice. And have it be kind of getting something attend to the floor. I'll just add some slabs here and make it kind of round. Although I just realized that I want to make it look like it's open, so I'm just gonna make sort of make this part of the floor sort of indented to make it look like the old door can board along it, if that makes sense. Well, this does look kind of weird. I feel like it would probably be better if the old door was bigger, but I'd say that this would be good enough. Build some walls around this thing. I think I'll also make it out of obsidian. There we go. We've got a entrance to a vault with a vault door. In my mind it looked better, but say it's good enough. So next up, I'm going to start working on the other parts of the interior, the kind of thing, so that clients can actually come in and sort of deposit their money and such. And first, I'm sort of going to add some walls. Let's see, which should I use? And on the inside, I'm gonna use some more white gray wall. Let's see, I'm gonna place some behind this wall door. I think this will be sort of a separate room, or maybe where the staff would be. Kind of had big plans for this build, but I'm not sure how I want to proceed, so I need to do a bit of thinking. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. In the meantime, I'll likely decide what I want to do. Anyway, sorry for not talking much about building it, because I was kind of thinking about what I want to build, and the thing that I've decided to do is kind of firstly a sort of big room over here, or a little bit big room in here, where people will have sort of safety boxes or whatever they are called, basically the sort of things, boxes that people can use to store valuable items in, kind of like you see in movies, I think. At least I've seen it in movies, so I decided to kind of do it. Before that, I first kind of place in some slabs. Which won't go all the way. Anyway, as for the walls, I'm gonna use some dark gray wall. Anyway, I don't really know how the safety boxes work, but my idea is that you sort of come here, talk to the person that is in here, you sort of want to either put stuff or sort of get assigned a safety box that you want to put stuff in, or want to deposit something in your box, or you want to take something out, and that person, the member of staff, so over here opens the door for you, and you get to walk inside and just take whatever you want. I will see for the material that the box will be made of. I think I'll use stone, since I have already used iron for the floor, and also stone slabs for the rails. So let's start placing them down. Anyway, as you can see, there are a lot of safety boxes in here, since there's a lot of stone. But you do kind of have to use your imagination with this. Just to sort of realize that what this is, just like with all classic builds. And next up I'm gonna add some blocks that will collect some document storage for the number of staff that is working here. So that, you know, if you say which box you want to access, they probably get your ID and then check if it's you. Maybe, I don't know. Which reminds me, I should also add a desk. Along with an obsidian block to make it look like it's a display and a computer. Anyway, another thing that anyway, on the other side of the building will be some more things. Firstly, I'm thinking of firstly a staff room that will be kind of over here in this space. It will have two entrances, one in here and one in here, plus I want to have something in here which will be in a bit, and inside of the staff room will be, first I'll add some windows. And then some tables where the staff can sit. And also make a small kitchen, food and stuff. On with a fridge, which I decided to make out of iron, so people can maybe store their food so that they don't have to buy it if they have some homemade food. And I'm also gonna add some decorations, or at least a bit. I was almost about to leave these windows open, but because, as you might remember, I was into the influence of like 0.0.15 because for a second I forgot that this version has glass. Anyway, next up it's time to start working on this part, for which I'm once again gonna place on some slabs. And my idea is that these are sort of booths that the regular clients come to, so they can, for example, like deposit money, or they can take out money, or maybe make a sort of regular account or something, I think. So let's go inside and start working on the interior for them, so like chairs. Some tables. Add some computers. And maybe along with a printer, so we can put stuff and some place to store documents behind them. So I think I'll use some stone to make some filing cabinets. Okay. Anyway, thanks for the compliments. Anyway, I'd say this is good enough. And now I think I'm gonna start working on the second floor, for which I've got some ideas, which is to have some more offices in here. So let's see what 3. This hallway that is 3 block wide, and some pipes. My idea is that sort of there will be this place will be sort of divided into, like, let's say 3 rooms, and this will be where the manager's office will be, and there's some offices for some other stuff where the more important clients come. For example, maybe if you want to make an investment account so you can buy stocks or something like that, or like if someone who represents some important business wants to make a deal with the bank or something, they will come here, because they wouldn't, these sort of people wouldn't want, well, I mean, talk to the normal bank tellers. Sorry, I can't speak right now, I'm kind of getting tired. But I think I'll make it to 2 hours. Now let's see, how big do I want each room to be? I think I'm gonna need to do a bit of counting for that. So let's see. So that's 33 blocks. I think I'll make it. I think I'll make the rooms that are on the side 10 blocks wide, and the middle one will be 11 blocks wide. So let's see. Okay, seems that my math was correct. I counted correctly. So now it's time to start working on the walls. Anyway, now that we've got the rooms, it is time to start working on the inside of them. And one thing that I think I'm gonna do is add some doors that will lead over to the manager's office, just in case it was required to talk to him. Now for the walls, I'm first gonna add some bookshelves to serve that are used for like storing the important documents. And also add some slabs to them for decoration. Just need to place them from the top down, since placing them from the bottom up is kinda glitchy. And can't forget to add some. Although I don't think I'm entirely set on those. Anyway. It probably would have been better if the room was longer. But oh well. Anyway, I'd say this is good enough. Now I'm gonna replicate it on the other side. And I'll also add a computer to the other this side since I forgot to do that. And now for the manager's office, for which I think I'll place bookshelves on both sides. And also some which kind of makes me wonder how does this look from the outside, so I'm gonna quickly take a look. Anyway, I think that now that I've added some chairs where the clients can sit, these rooms are finished. But I still would need to work stuff on the all of this space. I think for that I'm gonna use some stone. Let's see. Gonna want to use the stone as sort of dividers. So the wall isn't just solid dark gray. And I think that's gonna look better. Anyway, next up I think I'm gonna add some more those. And next up some slabs that will serve as benches. Also place for the line to sit while they wait to be accepted, sort of. And maybe some stone that will represent sort of a water fountain so they can drink if they feel thirsty. And I think another thing that I'm gonna add is one big window sort of in the middle. Oh, that's kind of looking nice. But anyway, as I said, I will be doing more decoration of the stream. Anyway, now for the first floor. I think I'm just gonna add some plants like below these stairs. I think there is quite that much that I'd add because I kinda want the path towards the vault to be unobstructed. Which made me think that I should also add some more obsidian over to the back of this vault entrance. So it looks like it's better secured, which made me think that I should probably add the staircase, or future staircase that is. So it's kind of in the middle of the vault entrance. Another thing that I'll also do is add some more stone here. Sort of divide things. Oh, it's probably not necessary here. Anyway, now it's time to add the plants, as I said. Anyway, I'd say that is good enough for the interior, at least for now. And so next up I'm gonna start working on the roof. And for that I'm first gonna need to place some wool. I think I'll first place instead of over here for the roof. And I'll also add some slabs over here to kind of mirror the bottom, as there are also some slabs in there. At the base of the pillars. And now I'm gonna start replacing the magenta wool, which I'm gonna start replacing with stone slabs. But anyway, we've reached the 2 hour mark, so I'd say that will be it for this stream. I think I had done enough. Now that I'm looking at the roof, okay, it is a bit too long. I think I'm gonna make it 1 block shorter here. But anyway, as I've said, that will be it for this stream. I believe that I had built enough and did enough. And it will also be the, as I've said at the start, this will be the last stream in which I am in the 0.28_R1 version. However, I will not be playing in 0.30 in the next stream, because as you might remember, I have made a post some time ago, last post, where I've talked that I've got something special planned for 0.30, which is why I won't be playing 0.30 in the next stream. Instead, I'll be playing in depth instead. And the special thing that I've got planned is that I'll have some other people build in my world. Because I've asked some other members of the Legacy Plus development server to, if they would like to build something in this world. And I had 4 people agree, those being Soybean, Jade, Steelcat, and Zolanator. Soybean, as you saw, Soybean already appeared this stream, and you might be familiar all of these people if you are familiar with Legacy Plus, because all of them have made Legacy Plus content in the past. Zolanator also makes like the Ultimate Ball World series, and Soybean makes music, some of which has made it into the Legacy Plus mods, and some of his music has been made specifically for the mods. But anyway, I won't go into details, a lot of details into this stream, because I plan to make like a video where I talk about this. In that video, I'll like talk about my plans for me playing in the dev, and just about the future of this classic world. And I'll also be doing a tour of the classic world, this classic city. Anyway, look forward to the video. Everything I wanted to say, and I'll see you in the next one.